Right now on CBS News Boston, bracing for more bitter cold. The Arctic air is moving in later today. The coldest temperatures experienced since February. We'll talk about what lies ahead for your Thursday.
Plus, a major tax hike set to hit Boston homeowners, when the increase will take effect and the impact it could have on renters. And a load of Amazon packages are found abandoned and undelivered for the second time in 2 weeks. How police officers stepped in to help out.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us. It is Thursday, December 4th. I'm Brianna Pitts. We are starting out in an alert this morning for the cold front that is headed our way. Jason Michael is here. And Jason, we might even see some more flurries.
More flurries, more white stuff expected to move in later today. That's exactly right here. We're waking up with bitterly cold temperatures outside this morning and getting even colder over the next 24 hours here. Snow squalls will be likely there today, friends, with an Arctic front moving into the region. Gusty winds around 30 to 40 plus miles per hour, sending temperatures tumbling overnight tonight. The jet stream is really likely going to be kissing the Gulf Coast here, allowing for all that Arctic air to move south into the lower 48, setting up residents across the mid to upper west there, as well as the northeast. Now, we are expecting temperatures to take a dive overnight tonight. Behind the front, though, look at some of the sub-zero wind chills already being experienced across the Midwest as of right now. Feels like 7 degrees in Chicago, 20 in Detroit, 27 over in Buffalo, 27 also in Pittsburgh, and 36 down in New York City. So that Arctic plunge of air is going to be setting up shop right underneath an area of high pressure, allowing for subsidence, basically meaning colder air coming down from the upper elevations, radiating out here at the surface. Temperatures are right around the freezing mark in Boston right now. It falls off north and west of town, and right around freezing south of the city as well. 32 degrees down in Plymouth. We'll climb into the mid to upper 30s later today. Still going to feel very cold outside, again with those gusty winds. The frontal boundary is expected to safely pass through the region around dinner time later on this evening there, kissing the Cape Sunday Islands, but also igniting a few flakes and flurries through the region. That colder air will take our temperatures back into the upper single digits for some. What feels like temperatures in the sub-zero mark there as well. How cold are we going to stay? I'll have those details coming up in a few.
Well, in just weeks, homeowners in Boston are set to see their property taxes spike, and the cost could be passed on to renters as well. WBZ's Anna Myler is live at City Hall with the efforts to ease the financial burden on residents. Anna.
Brianna, homeowners in Boston could see a double-digit increase in their property taxes starting next month, and this is the second year in a row that this would be happening. So Boston Mayor Michelle Wu is renewing her push to shift some of the costs to commercial properties. Boston homeowners could see a 13% increase in their property taxes, meaning an average increase of $800 a year. So why is this happening? The pandemic led to more remote work and more vacant office buildings, causing commercial property values to go down and residential property values to go up, and that is a trend that has continued. The CEO of Boston Pads tells WBZ that an increase in taxes for homeowners could mean an increase for renters in the city.
We've also seen, just insurance go through the roof, utilities go through the roof, and so I think most property owners, not only in Boston but in the state of Mass, are saying, how else am I going to be able to offset costs? I mean, they're going to have to eventually pass it on to the consumer.
The mayor has been trying to get state approval for a plan to temporarily shift some of the tax burden from homeowners to commercial property owners, but that plan failed in the Senate twice last year. She's now trying for a third time with a revamped version of her plan. In Boston, Anna Myler, WBZ News.
Okay, Anna, thank you. Well, the MBTA says it's investigating after an Orange Line train's doors opened before it reached a station. This happened yesterday afternoon as the train was approaching Roxbury Crossing. The T says 2 passengers decided to jump out onto the tracks, and one of them got hurt and was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The MBTA says the door issue was not caused by a mechanical error. The incident caused a service disruption during part of the evening commute. Well, a competency hearing is scheduled today for the man accused of stabbing former Fall River Mayor Will Flanagan. Corey Gonzalez was ordered to undergo a mental health evaluation following the October attack. He has a lengthy criminal record and is facing 2 felony charges. Flanagan is at home recovering after spending 6 days on life support in the days that followed. Well, it is day 4 of testimony in Brian Walshe's murder trial, getting underway today with the jury potentially hearing from a highly anticipated witness. Yesterday, they were shown evidence that prosecutors say was pulled from Walshe's car. WBZ's Penny Commit has the latest from Dedham.
This is a bag marked as purse and wallet.
Bags and bags of evidence shown to jurors Wednesday, pulled from dumpsters and filled with items that belong to Anna Walshe, or tools the prosecution said Brian Walshe used to kill and dismember her.
A pair of wire snips, a hatchet, and a hacksaw with red-brown stains on it.
And photos of blood and gloves found in Walshe's car.
On the passenger side of the vehicle, on the floor, there were 2 examination-style gloves.
A dozen witnesses took the stand Wednesday, many debunking the story Walshe originally told police, that his wife took a rideshare to Logan Airport, boarded a flight to D.C., and he hadn't seen her since.
Were there any rides between December 30th of 2022 and January 8th of 2023 that were used by this rider?
No.
But if Walshe's defense team has already admitted he lied to police, why does this matter? Our legal analyst, Jennifer Roman.
A person can lie about one thing, but not lie about everything. And so if the prosecution hadn't closed that door, that would have left the door open for the defense.
And questions over Anna's $1 million life insurance policy, as the prosecution points to finances as a potential motive.
Who is the beneficiary of that policy?
Brian Walshe.
The policy also listed Anna in excellent health, calling into question the defense's theory that she died suddenly. The defense questioned how thorough that examination was.
Is there any type of analysis of the person's pulmonary system, their lungs and their heart capacity?
I don't know.
The truth is nobody knows how she actually died, is what the defense is really kind of honing in on and chipping away at.
Today's expected to be a full day in court. We were told earlier in the week that we could hear from the man Anna Walshe was allegedly having an affair with today. Then tomorrow is just going to be a half day. From Dedham, I'm Penny Commit, WBZ News.
Well, you can watch live testimony of the Brian Walshe trial right here on CBS News Boston, which you can also find on Pluto TV. Well, the legal case for the Tufts PhD student detained by ICE this past March will be back in federal court today. Lawyers for Rumeysa Ozturk will argue in front of a Boston judge that her record in a database ICE uses to track foreign students should be restored. They say it was illegally terminated by the Trump administration, and not having it prevents her from getting a job in the U.S. Ozturk was detained for 45 days after co-authoring an op-ed about the war in Gaza in a student newspaper. Well, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is facing more scrutiny over 2 different military controversies. Today on Capitol Hill, lawmakers will review video of a deadly strike that Hegseth ordered on a suspected drug boat in the Caribbean in September. A source confirmed to CBS that 2 people who survived the first strike were hit again and killed. The Washington Post reported that Hegseth ordered commanders to kill everybody, which Hegseth denies. Meanwhile, sources tell CBS News that a new report from the Pentagon found Hegseth put service members at risk and violated policy when he used his personal cell phone to share sensitive military details about a mission in Yemen on the Signal messaging app. Hegseth called that review a, quote, total exoneration. Well, Amazon packages dumped in the middle of the road during the busy holiday shopping season. It's not the first time this has happened. WBZ's Samantha Cheney is live in studio with how police in Billerica stepped in to help. Sam, this is so bizarre.
Brianna, it really is. And right now, it's unclear how the packages ended up in the road, but it's the second time it's happened in town. First, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and again this week. Now, Tuesday night, 3 Billerica police officers, they were on patrol when we're told that they played the role of Santa's helpers when they found 8 Amazon packages scattered in the middle of Salem Road. At first, they say they thought the boxes were trash until they realized that they were all sealed and addressed to Billerica residents. That's when we're told the officers sprang into action and hand-delivered each one.
I didn't want to just leave them. There was nobody around, no cameras to help see what happened back there. So that was the first thing we were looking for. But yeah, they had all the addresses. It was raining, so the boxes were the addresses were a little hard to see, but we got them to their right owners that night.
It's amazing that they went above and beyond, and they have a lot of other things to do besides deliver packages, obviously, and I was very appreciative.
Now we're told that Amazon is working with Billerica Police on this, but wouldn't comment any further. Brianna?
Okay, thank you, Sam. Well, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, popping the cork on the Pops holiday season, the Bruins alum who helped kick off the festivities.
WBZ's next weather alert is brought to you by Safety Insurance.
Looking and feeling extremely cold outside this morning, everybody. Welcome into your Thursday morning here. Our next weather forecast is geared towards an Arctic blast of air moving on in. Now, as everybody sort of kind of gathers together and gathers around and goes inside with all this bitterly cold air, we actually have some new data coming from Johns Hopkins there showing a steady increase in ER visits due to influenza. This is mainly down in Suffolk County. So we're urging everybody to remember to kind of take care of yourselves here as we deal with a lot of this cold air. Cold front will be moving in later on today. It's going to help to ignite a few flakes. Meanwhile, the jet stream is going to help to fuel all of that colder air sliding south into the lower 48. That Arctic plunge of air actually helps to reignite even more colder air by the end of the weekend, with another plume of Arctic air moving in by Sunday into Monday of next week, keeping our daytime highs on Monday and Tuesday in the upper 20s and even lower 30s. Look at some of the sub-zero wind chills outside as of right now, mainly over towards the Midwest. All this activity will be rotating around with the dominant area of high pressure setting up shop across the area tomorrow, keeping us relatively clear, but also cold. This is why we have that next weather alert in effect. It mainly is going into effect for tonight's cold air and spills over into tomorrow. Now, as the cold front moves through, a few snow squalls will be likely across the area, along with gusty winds around 40 miles per hour. Temperatures are, for the most part, below the freezing mark again this morning. We only have roughly a handful of locations at or also above freezing, mainly for the Cape and the Islands there, around the upper 30s and mid 30s there. 40s for the Cape and the Islands, is mainly for the islands there around the 40-degree mark. I'm going to keep us at a moderate risk for travel impacts for today, mainly because of those overnight conditions and ice reforming across the area. So again, watch your step and also drive carefully for the remainder of the day, and especially for tomorrow and tonight. Temperatures will be climbing above the freezing mark later on today here, but those wind chills will be suffering as a result of the frontal boundary passing through. We're not expecting any sort of accumulations in terms of snow later today, but again, a few flakes will likely be blowing downstream coming off the Great Lakes region. a few extra clouds move on in here. A notch of that colder air kind of slips back up to the north. We'll have these south winds taking over as well, so we'll add a few more clouds into the mix by Friday evening. And as we start to see Saturday unfold, a few extra clouds will actually be on the north side of an area of low pressure that actually could throw us a few extra spot showers for the islands by tomorrow, at least on Saturday. But again, roughly it's going to be a mainly dry sort of weekend there for us. We have a few flakes earlier this morning passing across the Manchester region, moving off towards Cape Ann. Wind chills right now are in the teens there in Worcester, mid to lower 20s here in the city, upper 20s for the Cape and the islands there. And we're actually expecting another mainly clear night tonight with a few extra clouds tomorrow. The full moon, termed the cold supermoon. Seems like it's pretty operative, right? As far as the forecast lows again tonight, single digits across the Boston area, teens for the Cape and the islands there, perhaps even lower 20s. And our weekend temperatures also going to be well below average in the mid to upper 30s both Saturday and Sunday, filled with sunshine, but still feeling cold. Another front arrives between Sunday and Monday, which is why our daytime highs on Monday will still likely be in the mid 20s, lower 30s, as you can see for Tuesday, and back into the upper 30s by Wednesday, Brianna.
Well, a heads up if you need to fill the gas tank. Today, you can get 10-cent gas in Worcester, but only for a limited time. The extremely cheap gas can be found at the Chop Chop Convenience Gulf Station in Kelly Square. It started at 7 this morning. It's going to run till 10. It's a promotion from Unibank celebrating the one-year anniversary of their Polar Park branch. Drivers can fill up to 30 gallons of gas for 10 cents a gallon. Well, Boston police are investigating a theft at City Hall. The victim told police that someone went into her office Monday morning and took her wallet out of her bag. She says two of her co-workers saw an unknown man with a brown beanie and a blue face mask around the time. She says her credit cards were later charged for hundreds of dollars in purchases. So far, no arrests have been made. Well, Mount Ida College in Newton is being renamed. This January, the campus will become the Charles River campus of UMass Amherst. UMass Amherst took over the location after Mount Ida closed in 2018. Well, the Boston Pops kick off their holiday season tonight, and last night they offered a free preview to military families.
I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good night."
Former Bruins defenseman and Stanley Cup winner Andrew Ference made a surprise appearance to narrate a visit from St. Nicholas. 2,000 members of the military community were invited to attend. The Pops will perform 44 holiday concerts in the lead up to Christmas. Well, it is Snowport week here at WBZ, and all week long we are highlighting the best food, drink, and shopping options over at the holiday market. And this morning, Levin is out live to introduce us to a talented baker whose delicious desserts have people lining up. Levin.
Yes. I would tell you what, I'm here with Karen Clark of Clark's Cakes and Cookies, and not only her desserts, but her cocoa has people lining up, as you mentioned, Snowport. First and foremost, what is it like to have people come up here in the weather and say, I'm going to need your cocoa to start the day?
We appreciate it. We love the fact that people come to our booths and want hot cocoa, and with all the fillings, all the fixings, yeah.
Everything you do here is dairy-free, and it's vegan. Yeah. How important was it for you to say, okay, I'm going to make sure that I kind of cater to a group of people that maybe people don't cater to?
That was very important. We really wanted to make certain that everybody enjoyed their time here, including those that had dairy issues. So it wasn't just only about vegan, but also that people who had issues with milk, and well, that's why we do what we do.
I've got to ask you, you make sure that things taste great.
Yeah.
Because, you could easily say it's vegan, but you know what? It doesn't taste good. And that's how a lot of vegan stuff can be at times. How much time did it take for you to say, this cake right here is going to taste, these cookies are going to be great. That dunker, that gingerbread dunker is going to be great as well.
It took years, especially with cakes, especially vanilla-based ones. Chocolate is very forgiving, but it would take years, especially for the cakes. The cookies, not so much, but definitely the cakes would take years for me to get it right. And when we do something, we test it, we parcel it out to family and friends or coworkers and ask for their opinion, because that's who it's going out to.
You've been here at the Holiday Market since it started, 5 years, but this is the first year I think you're a scholarship winner here.
Yeah.
What's it like to be a scholarship winner for something that is so important to everybody in this area?
Oh wow! For one, we're thrilled that we got the recognition. Thank you for that recognition from Snowport and Comcast. But let's see, just for us to receive this, of course, it helps a lot financially for us to be here, and it also helps us to look further. Okay, how can we make this better? How can we get this product more out there for the people?
You want to talk about things how things work. Our whole family has helped her get this together. Yeah. Over here in the corner is Jabril trying to hide from everybody. He's been here all morning long, making sure that mom and family just gets things done. I will say this, Brianna, everything that's here is yummy. And by the way, I should say it differently. Everything here is yum, 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 yum.
Yes. Hey, you can't hide from Levin. He should know that by this point of the morning.
Exactly.
Yeah, not a thing. No, it looks so good, and so happy for her and her family. What an awesome accomplishment. All right, Lev, thank you. Just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, one endangered whale's incredible journey after it was spotted off our coast.
WBZ's Snowport Week coverage is sponsored by Citizens. Make sense of your money. You're watching WBZ News.
A right whale recently spotted off Boston is making history. Researchers believe it is the same one that was reported near Ireland last year. This would mark the first time that a right whale, first seen 3,000 miles away, traveled this far west. Right whales are critically endangered with fewer than 400 left in the world. Well, if you are planning on shipping any holiday gifts, you'll want to get your shopping done soon. The Postal Service says if you want gifts to arrive by Christmas, their deadline for ground and first class mail is in 2 weeks. FedEx recommends shipping between the 17th and the 23rd. UPS says 3-day select packages should be sent by the 19th, while second or next day air can be sent on the 22nd or the 23rd. Coming up next, Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick are one step closer to the NFL Hall of Fame.
You're watching WBZ News.
Well, more potential glory for the New England Patriots. The NFL announced yesterday that Pats owner Robert Kraft made the list of finalists for the Hall of Fame. He's the only finalist in the contributor category. He'll need 80% of the committee's vote to be inducted. Also a Hall of Fame finalist, former Pats head coach Bill Belichick. This is his first year of eligibility in the coaching category. He has 8 Super Bowl wins on his resume, 6 with New England, and the second highest number of career coaching wins, 333 of them. Still to come in our next half hour, I'll take you down to the Cape for some one-of-a-kind holiday fun.
CBS News Boston is now streaming live on our YouTube channel every morning from 7 to 10 a.m. So if you're watching us streaming on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel, CBS News Boston. Now, streaming on CBS News Boston, WBZ News Mornings continues with your top stories.
An Arctic blast of cold air settles into the southern New England area over the next 24 hours, taking bitter cold wind chills below zero.
Plus, neighbors say State Street sidewalks are in disarray, what the city is saying about the process for making repairs, and the promise Governor Healy is making about access to childhood vaccines. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brianna Pitts. It is a chilly morning, but it's about to get a whole lot colder. We'll get right out to Jason Michael with our next weather alert. And Jason, are you talking about single digits?
I'm talking about sub-zero wind chills, Brianna. Single digits and sub-zero wind chills. That's what we can expect over the next 24 to 36 hours here, friends. An Arctic blast of cold air is making its mark onto the region. We actually have not had temperatures this cold since last winter. Going back to even February, there are gusty winds 30 to 40 plus mile per hour are actually going to be on deck by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. It even looks cold outside as of right now, looking extremely bleak but also feeling bleak across the area. Teens are going to be likely as we get ready for bed later on this evening here. Sub-zero wind chills will be taking over by tomorrow morning around 5 a.m. Could actually feel like 0 degrees here in the city and surrounding areas. So it's going to be a bundle up type of Friday here for the start, midday, and also the finish as well. Temperatures for the vast majority of the area again this morning are at or also below freezing. So patchy areas of ice will also be a major factor again for us. So warranting another travel impact type of day because of some ice on the roadways. The jet stream is well off to the south as of right now and likely to remain that way. And that allows for all this cold air to swing on into the region. We actually have another frontal boundary arriving between Sunday and Monday towards the end of the weekend, spilling over to next week, and that means a very cold start to the week next week. We'll talk about that and beyond coming up in the full weather forecast. Brianna.
Well, Boston has a sidewalk problem. Residents flood the city's 311 line with complaints, and we got an email from a woman who lives downtown, and she wanted to know why one of Boston's most well-known streets had such terrible sidewalks. WBZ's David Wade met up with her for today's Question Everything.
This is State Street. It runs from Boston Harbor to the Old State House, a popular tourist area just a cobblestone's throw away from Quincy Market. Its history goes back about 400 years when the sidewalks were, well, just a little better than today.
So you have bricks that are popping up, you have holes, you have slanted sidewalks.
Jane Stricker and Pat Palmer live close by, and they walk down State Street all the time.
It's a dangerous street, I think.
It's only a third of a mile long, but getting down this obstacle course of a sidewalk can feel like an expedition. There's crumbled concrete, uneven bricks, missing stones, and whatever this is over the curb.
I'm not sure it was meant to be this way.
No, definitely not.
Let's get it fixed.
We got to get it fixed, man.
And it's why Pat contacted us to ask, when will something be done on State Street?
I'm a regular viewer. I see question everything. That was my question.
And her friend Jane has been right there with her, trying to get things fixed.
Every time someone's running for office, we're there. And people take copious notes. We get a lovely return phone call the next week, and nothing happens.
A few years ago, the city unveiled a multi-million-dollar plan to redesign the entire street with wider sidewalks, bigger bike lanes, and ADA-compliant sidewalk ramps. The city's website for the project actually shows a man having a hard time with a walker, but the plan seems stalled, and postal carrier Chris Thompson says no repairs have been done in the meantime.
I've been working in this neighborhood for 11 years, and it has gotten worse.
So you never see anyone down here fixing things?
Never.
This isn't just a problem on State Street. It's a problem in Roxbury and Mattapan and Dorchester and South Boston. And we know this because the city just last year got more than 5,000 complaints from residents about sidewalks.
I think we can do better.
City Councilor Erin Murphy says the priority at City Hall needs to change, and then pointed to an example right behind her.
I can't help but notice that there's a bike lane right over your right shoulder. That's been a big priority. Do you think it's been a bigger priority than getting the sidewalks fixed?
100% has been over the last few years. Well, like right here, we see crosswalks where they don't have ADA, ramps accessible, and bricks that are up and people falling. We have to make sure we're prioritizing safety over the bike lanes for sure.
And I got a statement from the city of Boston about this, saying the city is focused on improving our infrastructure and ensuring safe, accessible streets and sidewalks. While we have made significant progress by repairing or reconstructing more than 20 miles of sidewalks in the past 2 construction seasons, we still face an historic backlog of sidewalk repair requests. As for that redesign of State Street, that seems to be stalled still as they're trying to get with the community to figure out what will make everyone happy. I'm David Wade, WBZ News.
Well, the Coast Guard has suspended their search for a report of a missing person believed to be in the Merrimack River. Coast Guard says a witness called for help yesterday morning after spotting a boat drifting in the river in Newburyport. They say they heard a person calling for help, and then that person stopped yelling. Both the Coast Guard and Newburyport police searched for 14 hours, but they were unable to find the person. Boaters tell us the water can be dangerous.
Be incredibly careful going out through the mouth. Sometimes it's really very calm, and sometimes it can change in a couple hours.
Well, in a post on X, the Coast Guard offered their condolences to the family of the missing person. State health officials are monitoring 2 cases of Mpox in Worcester. A city spokesperson tells our partners at Mass Live that the patients were admitted to UMass Memorial Tuesday. The virus spreads through close skin-to-skin contact, and it can cause a painful rash and flu-like symptoms. Today, a panel of CDC advisors will meet to discuss the childhood vaccine schedule and the timing of the hepatitis B shot. Since 1991, the vaccine's been recommended for newborns. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, a longtime anti-vaccine activist, handpicked today's panel. Yesterday, Governor Healy met with local health experts, and she says Massachusetts will maintain access to childhood vaccines even if the CDC changes its recommendations. State experts say the hepatitis B vaccine has been a game changer.
Pediatric infection rates have fallen by 99%. It's one of the greatest public health interventions of our time.
Well, the state made a similar move to protect COVID vaccines in the fall, requiring health insurers to cover the costs. Well, the crowds are gone, the beaches are empty, and even the birds have flown south. But Buzzards Bay still has a story to tell. Early settlers nicknamed the ospreys who lived there buzzards, and that's exactly how the bay got its name. I visited to see how this summer's hotspot turns into a magical winter movie set.
It happens here, Buzzards Bay. This time of the year, it transforms into the North Pole and a stop on the Polar Express train ride.
To the Polar Express train, of course, right to the North Pole.
The Cape Cod Central Railroad begins preparing for this monumental task before Halloween.
If I were you, I would think about climbing on board.
Are you guys excited? It takes a cast of 200 employees to pull off. Train conductors, elves, and dancing chefs who sing and even do improv.
What's your name? Brianna. All right, grab your tickets.
With my golden ticket in hand, I climbed aboard with the woman who makes it all happen, Kayleen Jablecki.
Growing up, I was called Memory Maker Mom because I always wanted to make magical memories with my kids, and now I get to help other families do that. I have a fabulous team that helps to pull this off. It's decorating these beautiful rail cars and the tent that you saw earlier, and the gift shop and the depot and the ticket sales, and there are so many different pieces to pulling off the Polar Express.
Once everyone is settled on board, the Tom Hanks Holiday Classic comes to life. The train is a stage, and not a single detail is missed. The dancing chefs hand out hot chocolate and shortbread cookies, and conductors punch golden tickets with everyone's first initial.
What about this is so special?
It's fun. It's just Christmassy fun.
When I was pregnant, this is what I imagined. Like, I mean, we've had the ticket since May, and we're going on the Polar Express. We said it's for them, but we really think it's for us.
It allows people to get away, even for a moment, even for an hour-and-a-half train ride, to get away from the chaos of everyday life, the stress of paying bills, the sick kids. And you hear the laughter in the background. People are having a blast.
The really cool thing about taking the Polar Express train ride on Cape Cod is that the snow is made up of crushed seashells.
Standing on that special snow at the North Pole is the man we have all been waiting for. On board, Santa makes the rounds handing out silver bells.
You got the first gift? Show me what you get.
Yeah. And the pure joy on Kayleen's face is contagious.
As you know in the story, it's, if you don't hear that bell anymore, then you don't believe. And he says in the story that, the bell still rings for me because you believe. The bell will always ring for me.
I had so much fun. That train runs now through December 23rd. Still to come on CBS News Boston, the recognition Drake May is getting for his success on the field, plus Steve Burton and Mike Reese discuss how the Pats can keep the momentum rolling through the bye week.
It Happens Here is brought to you by Safety Insurance. We'll help you manage life's storms.
Another day, another next weather alert. This time, not for necessarily snow, but also an Arctic blast of cold air moving on in. Sub-zero wind chills, unfortunately, moving into the region yet again. Gusty winds around 40 miles per hour. We're going to be fetching a few flakes later today. Little to no accumulation is going to be likely, but visibility could actually suffer with some of these blowing flakes moving on in. We have an Arctic front poised to move into the region late into the afternoon and the early evening hours. It's already taking shape across the upper Midwest as of right now. Sub-zero wind chills, single digits and teens there will become the same thing by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. The jet stream is far down to the south as of right now, with that Arctic plume of air slipping down into the lower 48. Mainly the northern tier of the country is going to be taking the brunt of all this cold air. We have a lot of snow on the ground and across the Commonwealth as of right now. New Hampshire, Vermont is also dealing with fresh powder on the ground. Everything will be encased in ice and or snow over the next 24 to 36 hours, and likely going beyond that as well. There actually could be some very minimal melting later today, with temperatures right now just a couple degrees above the freezing mark. But notice what it will likely feel like. Okay, let's roll the clock forward here. Keep an eye on the clock in your place on the map. Around 7 p.m. later this evening, we're slipping down to the lower teens. Meanwhile, lower single digits over in Worcester County, central northern Mass, there up into the Merrimack Valley. Sub-zero wind chills will likely take over around 10 p.m. later this evening. And if you think that's something, how about this? We'll likely go and even feel below zero, waking up tomorrow morning around 5 to 6 to 7, even 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Even as we move into the afternoon, daytime highs will likely climb into the mid-20s for tomorrow afternoon, but also feel like the teens as well. Cold front will be pushing south and east across the area there, clearing our skies out overnight tonight. All the temperatures will be tumbling overnight tonight. The cold air will be setting up shop. And meanwhile, we'll also have a low-level tier of a storm racing up the Atlantic coast for the most part. It's going to stay well outside of the region, but also we're going to throw some extra clouds our way as we move towards Saturday. A few spot showers for the Cape and the Islands, but little to no accumulations there. And then we're back dry by Sunday with more colder air moving in by Monday and Tuesday of next week. Travel impacts for today will be at least in a moderate category, mainly due to some of the ice that's still on the ground. Little to no accumulations again of snow will be likely later today, but we'll take our forecast highs into the mid to upper 30s. We're still well below where we should be for this time of year, friends. A few extra flakes now this morning down towards Connecticut. A few extra flakes were also in the Berkshires earlier this morning up into the Merrimack Valley. Those have allowed to expire and move on out of here, but the current wind chills, oh boy, does it feel like the sort of a knee-deep there winter time. Officially full later on this evening. I'm talking about our full cold moon. Supermoon looks like it's coming right on schedule there. Expected to be full officially at 6:14 later on this evening. Forecast lows overnight tonight will be back into the single digits there. Some teens south and east of town there. 21 degrees the forecast low tonight over in Nantucket. Wind chills, at least for the air temperatures this upcoming weekend, will feel like the 20s there. Air temperatures will be in the mid to upper 30s. A chance of rain and snow possible for us as we get into the start of our Saturday. This is a system to do it. Now notice we're actually going to be on the north side of this thing here, so it actually could ignite a couple spot showers, maybe a chance rain snow mixture there around early Saturday morning, and then that wanes and moves on out and re-dry thereafter. Then that next cold front moves on in, which is why at the end of the 7-day forecast, Monday and Tuesday will be suffering. Surely overnight lows waking up on Monday morning will be in the lower teens and feel like the upper single digits. But air temperatures by Tuesday morning will in fact be in the single digits and feel like sub-zero. Meanwhile, daytime highs will be right around freezing.
Well, Drake May earning honors for his performance against the Giants on Monday night. He has been named the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. May completed 24 of 31 passes for 282 yards with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. May's the first Pats QB to get the honor since Tom Brady back in 2017. And it certainly feels like the Brady days, with the Pats sitting at 11-2 and riding a 10-game winning streak. Our Steve Burton and ESPN's Mike Reese discuss where the team stands as they enjoyed their bye week.
What week are we in?
We're in the, yeah. I like that.
Ready for it.
You know what? Queued up the bye week.
DJ Mike.
That's in sync after the bye. Can they stay in sync after the bye? Oh, see what I did there?
Very well
There you
done.
go. Come
Look
on.
at you.
Come on.
I love it. Well deserved, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and I think Steve, for this, you put in 13 straight weeks of grinding through, practice games. Like, it catches up to you. And I think what excites me for the Patriots, like, champions are never satisfied. Like, you got a chance here to play into January, February now. You get this break.
Absolutely.
You refill that tank. You go 4 regular season games, and you might be talking, 1, 2, 3 more games after that. So it's sort of like a pit stop, right? Refill the tank and let's go.
What you don't want to happen is for them to lose momentum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It's happened before after buys.
Yes.
But this team, there's just something about this football team.
Yep.
They're so well coached. But you know what? When the calendar came out and you saw the bye at the end of the year, we were like, oh man, the bye is so late. We're the Patriots' last team to have a bye.
That's right. And let's compare it to last year. Remember, they come out at the same bye as last year.
Yeah.
And they're going to Arizona. They got nothing to play for. And it was sort of depressing here in New England.
Yeah.
Contrast that to where we are now,
night and day.
Steve. The possibilities are
night and day.
endless.
All right. And that's because of a guy who can sling that football, folks. Monday night's win pushed Drake May to the top of the list in the race for the league MVP. Mike Vrabel said the Pats quarterback is realizing what he can be as the conductor of the offense.
Shoot, just trying to be the face, trying to be the conductor. He calls it the conductor of the offense. Trying to be the face of the offense, trying to. You want the pressure. You want to the ball in my hands, and I've tried to show that all year and throughout my career. So that's what I kind of feel like, and know they feed off of me and feed off my energy and feed off of what I say to those guys and what I say means something to them. So just when adversity hits, I got to respond, and then from there I just got to be the same guy, same guy every day. Don't try to change and just be myself. That's what the guys like the most.
Yeah. His humility, he gets it. You know what? You don't want the guy to change. But seeing him on the football field, and one guy that should get credit for that, a lot of credit for that, is Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, Josh did a great job this last game, I thought, particularly against the edge rushers of the Giants. That was the area of the game that you were concerned about that could disrupt it, and he really protected Vidarian Lowe at left tackle.
Those guys did a good job in front.
They did a good job, protected Drake, and I thought whether it was chipping, with the running backs or putting the tight ends over there, it was really well done. And Steve, I want to tell you a story from the locker room this week.
Okay, give it to me.
With Drake May that I just thought reflected his growth as a leader. Christian Ellis, the linebacker, had a big crowd of reporters around him in the locker room, and it was toward the end of the interview, and all of a sudden you hear a voice, from the distance, and it was, hey, big play, Ellis! Don't hit me like that. And you know who it was?
It was Drake.
It was Drake.
It was Drake.
And it's like, and it just tells you, Steve, like he's getting more comfortable having his voice be heard and being a presence in the locker room. And the quarterback, right?
Key.
Quarterback, that's the presence, right?
Patriots All Access is coming to you on Saturday night this week. Mike Vrabel will break down Marcus Jones's game-changing punt return. That's Saturday at 7 on WBZ. Well, the MIAA State Football Championships kick off today. Amesbury faces Cohasset in the Division 7 title game. Kickoff is at 5. That'll be followed by Division 6 game between Fairhaven and Norwell. Both games will be streaming right here on CBS News Boston. And as we head to break, take a look at this. We told you about that cheap gas in Worcester earlier in the hour. This is at Chop Chop Convenience Gulf Station in Kelly Square. We'll take a look. Here's some live video from Sky Eye. They are over the scene here, and the line is several cars deep from what we've seen. Again, this is to score 10 cents a gallon gas. You got to get there soon, though. It's only lasting for a little over another hour. We'll be right back. Good morning. It's 8:53. I'm Brianna Pitts. We'll have today's top stories, but first, meteorologist Jason Michael is here with a look at your next weather forecast, and we are getting ready for some really chilly temperatures, Jason.
Oh, yeah. Underline that. Cold temperatures, the coldest that we have not received since earlier last winter, okay? We're talking about February and even March there. Temperatures actually below freezing again this morning, so patchy areas of frost actually elevating our travel impacts again this morning. By the time we go to dinner later on this evening, it's going to feel like the single digits across the board there, lower teens in the city. Sub-zero wind chills by the time we wake up for tomorrow morning, and winds are going to be gusty out of the north as well. It's going to be a very crispy air mass, and it's all because of this guy. Okay, an Arctic front will actually be passing through the region later today. A few snow squalls as well as a few flakes will likely be blowing into the region as well. Back mainly clear overnight tonight, sending temperatures tumbling as we wake up for tomorrow morning. So overall, daytime highs for us this upcoming weekend is actually going to really be struggling there. We're likely going to be bouncing back and forth between the mid to lower 30s there on Saturday. A few extra flakes, maybe a little bit of wintry mix possible for us on Saturday by midday. And as we look at Sunday, yeah, we're climbing well above freezing there, but still tumbling back into the 20s by Monday afternoon, lower 30s on Tuesday, mid to upper 30s on Wednesday, Bree.
All right, Jason, let's get a check of those travel times. Stop and go, Braintree to Boston, 32 minutes there. Little under an hour down into the city on 93 southbound. Mass Pike just over an hour into the city eastbound from 495. Route 24 just under 20 minutes to 93 in Randolph. Well, testimony in Brian Walsh's murder case picks back up this morning with jurors possibly hearing from a witness who was allegedly having an affair with Anna Walshe. Here are your top stories. In court yesterday, prosecutors showed the jury weapons and other evidence that was pulled from dumpsters and what looked like blood and gloves found in Walsh's car. A dozen witnesses took the stand, debunking the story that Walshe told police about Anna taking a rideshare to Logan Airport and confirming that he is the beneficiary of her $1 million life insurance policy. Well, Karen Reed's defense team wants access to all of former trooper Michael Proctor's cell phone records in the wrongful death lawsuit brought by the family of John O'Keefe. Proctor was fired after his texts revealed lewd and derogatory comments about Reed. The Norfolk DA is fighting back, saying it's essentially a fishing expedition and contains material not relevant to her case. And the legal case for the Tufts PhD student detained by ICE this past March will be back in federal court today. Lawyers for Rumeysa Ozturk will argue in front of a Boston judge that her record in a database that ICE uses to track foreign students should be restored. They say it was illegally terminated by the Trump administration in retaliation to Ozturk's protected speech, and that not having it prevents her from getting a job in the U.S. Ozturk was detained for 45 days after co-authoring an op-ed about the war in Gaza in a student newspaper. And we're now seeing video from TMZ of the moment that ICE arrested a woman in Revere who has ties to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Bruna Caroline Ferreira is the mother of Leavitt's nephew, and ICE says she's from Brazil and overstayed her 1999 tourist visa that was issued when she was a child. Ferreira is currently being held in Louisiana. Well, Massachusetts residents can now get federal heating assistance. Governor Maura Healey says the Trump administration has released funds for the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. That program typically helps more than 150,000 Massachusetts households with their winter heating bills. The funding is usually available in early November, but it was delayed due to the government shutdown. This has been a WBZ News Update. If you are watching us on CBS News Boston, we'll be back in a few minutes. Have a great day.
Right now on CBS News Boston, bracing for more bitter cold. The Arctic air is moving in later today. The coldest temperatures experienced since February. We'll talk about what lies ahead for your Thursday.
Plus, a major tax hike set to hit Boston homeowners, when the increase will take effect and the impact it could have on renters. And a load of Amazon packages are found abandoned and undelivered for the second time in 2 weeks. How police officers stepped in to help out.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us. It is Thursday, December 4th. I'm Brianna Pitts. We are starting out in an alert this morning for the cold front that is headed our way. Jason Michael is here. And Jason, we might even see some more flurries.
More flurries, more white stuff expected to move in later today. That's exactly right here. We're waking up with bitterly cold temperatures outside this morning and getting even colder over the next 24 hours here. Snow squalls will be likely there today, friends, with an Arctic front moving into the region. Gusty winds around 30 to 40 plus miles per hour, sending temperatures tumbling overnight tonight. The jet stream is really likely going to be kissing the Gulf Coast here, allowing for all that Arctic air to move south into the lower 48, setting up residents across the mid to upper west there, as well as the northeast. Now, we are expecting temperatures to take a dive overnight tonight. Behind the front, though, look at some of the sub-zero wind chills already being experienced across the Midwest as of right now. Feels like 7 degrees in Chicago, 20 in Detroit, 27